In this video, we're going to talk about idol worship, how it's so easy to get into, why it's dangerous, 3 ways that you might be idol worshiping. And I'm going to give you a practical tool for you to use so that you can kind of combat this in your real life. Now, what is idol worship? Um, First, let's get down to the word, okay? Idol, idol, it means image of a deity as an object of pagan worship. Okay, it literally means false god. Okay, the word worship means high respect. So you're paying high respect to a false god. Okay, I use the word idol or oftentimes in a different context when we're talking about the mind. But in the context of like when it's cold outside and you want to start your car to warm up the inside, you go outside, you start the car, you walk inside, you finish getting ready, eating your breakfast, talking to your wife or husband, petting the dogs or cats, so that when you get back in the car's nice and warm. But when you were inside, the car was idling. Okay, so in that context, I always use the word idle in the form of unmanaged process. Okay, unmanaged process. But also part of the definition, it means false god. So idol, it means false god. High esteem or high praise for false god. Now, when you high praise. Okay, praise. What does praise mean? It means you are acknowledging a point in existence. Okay, you are honoring what this thing is, good or bad. Okay, so if you say, "Oh man, this really sucks," you are praising this for what it is. Okay, and people don't understand, like when you say to yourself out loud, "My life really sucks," what you're doing is you are worshiping a demon, because that's demonic worship. You saying, "Oh, my life really sucks," does not get demons to go away. In fact, it lets them know they are doing an excellent job at destroying you. Remember, what are demons here for? 3 things: to steal, kill, and destroy. That's it. Steal, kill, and destroy, like a thief in the night. So you complaining, it doesn't solve the problem. It only tells the enemy how good of a job that they are doing. For example, if you have a hater in real life, and let's say this hater doesn't want you to get rich, and let's say you just earned $50 million just last month alone. You for sure would, and if they start complaining, "Man, Kyle's getting so much money, I hate that." Do you know that is how good that will make you feel? If you got $50 million and the person that you don't like and that they also don't like you, if they're complaining about how rich you're getting, you know you're doing something right. So when you are complaining about your life in the context of what these demons are designed to do, which is ruin you, you're only giving them more of instruction to continue doing what they've been doing. Okay, so idol worshiping is when you praise a false god to a high degree. Okay, when you praise a false god to a high degree. So there is only one God, creator, Yahweh, Jesus Christ. So if and you don't have to be in religion to worship idols. Okay, God is not religious. I want you to know that. God is not religious. God is existential. Okay, God is forever. God is always and is. That it's not, it has nothing to do with religion. Like a set, like the cool kids club. It's nothing about that. Um, I don't. If there is a false god, then there is by definition a true God. There's a reason why we put the word God in capital, and then when we're talking about lesser gods, we lowercase g it. Okay. Um, Idol worshiping happens in two ways. You can be intentional with your idol worshiping, meaning you can create a shrine, an altar, and worship this thing for providing to you, for protecting you. Okay. Um, or unintentional, which that's like 98% of what idol worshiping is. And this is when you think and you thank the universe for loving you, for providing for you, for shining the sun on you, for raining down on you. This is when you think your zodiac signs actually have anything to do with your future. Okay. And you go back to your zodiac, like astrology thing to, predict your future, or people who live with crystals and think that crystals are somehow supposed to protect you and fix your energy like a crystal ball. That's why they're all kind of shunned away, because they're worshiping idols. Idol worshiping, okay, idol worshiping, it gets real deep. Okay, it gets real deep, and it gets deep fast, because you might not even know that you are idol worshiping. Number one, people don't understand that complaints are actually demonic worship. This is when you are worshiping demons. Okay. But on the other end, when you are looking for solutions to your life, let's say you are living check to check, and you think all of your problems will be solved by money. Okay. All of your problems will be solved by money. There's a verse in the Bible, Matthew 6:24. It says, "No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. He cannot serve God and mammon." A lot of people say, the love of money, or money is the root of all evil. That's what people normally say. Money is the root of all evil. And they use that to kind of like hate rich people. It's crazy, because those people that say that hate being poor. They rather be rich. They want to be rich, but they think rich people are evil. And if you're gonna say I'm lying, you know that you're lying. So don't do that. Next, if you think money will be your savior, and you're complaining, how it sucks to be poor, and all you are geared on is looking at money as your savior, as your provider, as your protector, that is idol worshiping. Okay? You don't know, but you are aligning yourself every time you honor something. Okay? And honor means acknowledging something honestly. When you are honest about a state of existence. Okay. And or a state of reality. So when you are honest about your reality, you might see blue, I might see green, I might be colorblind. Now, my reality might not be correct. I might be in confusion. I might have some physical disabilities, whatever. But as long as you're honest about your perception, your point of view, That's called honor. Okay. But worship only begins when action is. Okay. So words are action. Okay. Words are action. We can detect physical matter in sound waves. That's the only reason why we can measure the decibels. Okay. Lights, we can measure on the light spectrum the intensity, the wavelength. Now we can see, oh, this should be blue, but I'm seeing green. Okay. Oh, so it's something wrong with me. All right. So, the idol worshiping, why it gets so dangerous is because once you speak something, like once you honor a thing, okay, and people think honor is like groveling at your feet, like, oh my God, you're my dad. I must, look at you in a certain way. You're my mom. I must look at you in a certain way. I must adore you. I must admire you. I must worship you. No, 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 no. You only worship God. Okay. And parents who worship children, this is evil too. When parents say, my child comes first, you are evil. That is evil. Okay. Your child does not come, number one, before you, and it does not come before the man of the house. Christ, man, woman, child, in that order. In that order. But don't worry. Just because somebody comes first does not mean the whole team or the rest of the team gets left behind. Okay. Idol worshiping is high praise. When you are praising or acknowledging somebody on a high level, okay? When you keep saying, you are my mom, I love you. Once is enough. Thank you. Oh, you're my mom. You are my best friend. You are my ride or die. That is idol worship. You're not supposed to worship your parents. And parents, you're definitely not supposed to worship your kids. Okay? It says, honor your father and keep his commandments. Okay, father in a lowercase f. Honor your father in Proverbs. Honor your father and keep his commandments. Hold his instructions close to your heart. Okay. Now that one is specifically for fathers, how children are supposed to treat their fathers, because fathers are the representation of God in the house. But you're not supposed to worship your father. Idol worshiping, you're not supposed to do that. Just honor him, okay? When he gives you instructions, it's like better than gold and silver, okay? It says that in Proverbs as well. And a lot of men, this is why it's natural for a lot of fathers to want to teach their children. This is why I say fathers, men are organic, natural teachers. It's designed into us. Even the Bible is hinting at it. So this does not mean mothers are not amazing parts of the family. Needed, wanted, and very much necessary to be part of the family. I'm just not talking about mothers in this particular moment, okay? So when you idol worship, pride is a sin. And quite often, pride is the gateway to idol worshiping. Why is pride often the gateway to idol worshiping? Is because pride is ruled by Leviathan. And Leviathan, the demon that rules over the sin of pride, means, or not means, but the word pride means the love of display. Okay, pride, the etymology of pride, it doesn't mean arrogant, like beating your chest, fee fi fo fum, I'm better than everybody. It doesn't mean that. But the fruit of pride is arrogance. Okay. The love of display. Look how smart I am. Look how handsome I am. Look how pretty I am. Look how strong I am. Look how big my business is. Look, I'm a doctor. Look, I'm whatever. Okay, whatever you want to do. Like, look at my cars. Look at my makeup. The love of display. You love to display yourself. That's a sin, and it's called pride. This often leads into idol worshiping, but arrogance is the fruit of pride. This is why Leviathan is always the protective demon. If you are being tormented by sloth, like Belphegor, the demon who just makes you lazy and avoid your responsibilities and sees life as it must be easy, as soon as you try to stop being slothful, the arrogant side of you will come up, because that's when Leviathan is recruited and tries to protect everything. Okay. But anyway, I'm getting off track. Pride is the gateway. Okay. Pride is the gateway to idol worshiping, because pride requires an audience to flatter. I need, if I'm stuck in pride, I need you to tell me how good I am. Okay. But not only tell me how good I am or how handsome I am or how this I am. I need you to do it even when I don't deserve it. Okay. Flatter, it means to provide undue praise. Okay. To provide somebody praise that they don't deserve. Okay. You remember what praise is? It's when you are honoring them in some way. Okay. You are telling them what they are as you see it honestly. That's praise. Praise can be both holy or demonic. Okay. There's demonic praise. There's holy praise. But if I'm prideful and I require an audience of people to flatter me, okay? That audience of people has the real possibility of becoming idol worshipers of me. This is just an example, okay? You, like a pure, just an example, please. You might think that I'm the only way to get out of your mess, that I'm the only way to scale your business, that I'm the only way to get you healthy, to mend your marriage, to start your business, whatever, and when you do that, quite often what you don't know is you have entered into idol worship. If I am the solution, I've transformed from the solution into a savior, to your savior. There are no saviors. There's only one savior, Jesus. Okay. The thing here is we don't know that we have nominated people as saviors, but not only people, things. Okay. But how can you identify if you are in idol worship, if you are idol worshiping something or someone? Okay. I have to use your imagination real quick so that you can understand what I'm trying to say. So you have, let's say I'm your father. Okay. I'm not God. I'm just your dad. And you're 10 years old, boy or girl. So, take the example as gender appropriate. And you are at school. While you were at school, what you didn't know is I built a dresser for you. And in this dresser, there's shoes, brand new shoes. There's lots of money scattered around it. There's a coloring book. There's new pencils. There's new shoes and socks and underwear. The dresser's big. It has a mirror and some lights where you can see. It has a place that you can sit down underneath and also do your homework. Okay. When you get back to the house, you say, "Oh, this is a surprise. How did this get here?" I tell you, I built it for you. I wanted to surprise it to you. Then you start opening the drawers, you start finding the money, you start finding all the gifts that I have provided for you. And what ends up happening is you go to school the next day, brand new clothes, you know, you're in high spirits. Your friends are asking you, "How did you get all this stuff?" You said, "The dresser gave it to me." Oh, wow. And look at all this money the dresser gave. And even the dresser made room so that I can even do my homework. Okay. But what you don't know is your friends live in our neighborhood. So now I have parents from your friends approaching me, telling me that you're worshiping the dresser for providing to you. So a couple of things will happen as a result. Number one, I'm not going to build anything for you again by surprise if you don't apologize for giving credit to something else, something that did not even deserve it. Okay? And that's what happens in your real life in the spirit world. This is called getting out of alignment. When you think money is your only savior, you are removing God as a provider and switching over to the demon called mammon. When you think relaxation and easiness and being comfortable are the only solutions, are your savior, you remove God for your plan of growth to the demon called Belphegor. Okay? When you think that you need to be perfect at everything in your business in order to move forward, to scale, to implement sales funnels, to hire a virtual assistant, or to hire an assistant or to franchise out, to get funding, to schedule, a fundraising event, anything. Okay. You remove God as your provider. And then now you sit in front of the demon called Ashtaroth. Okay. And this is exactly what happens in real life. But life itself is spiritual. Life itself doesn't exist on its own. Even the etymology of the word life tells us this. The definition of the word life, it means spiritual existence imparted by God. Okay? Do you think I am involved in this thing called life? Do I have life? If the answer is yes, by definition, spiritual existence imparted by God. That's why life is a gift. That's why when we say past, future, and now is a present. That's why we call it the present, because it's a gift based off of the definition of life. Okay? Spiritual existence imparted by God with a capital G. So if you are like struggling in your life, it's because you're out of alignment. It's because you are idol worshiping. And idol worshiping, it comes so easily. Okay, so easily. When you start opening your mouth, thoughts are not action. Okay, thoughts are not action. Thoughts are how you figure out the world. But action begins at words. This is why the Bible made it so clear. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. We are made in God's image. Humans are made as an image of God. What does the word image mean? The word image, it means artificial representation of a thing or a person. So that literally means, by definition and according to the Bible, human beings are artificial intelligence that God created. We are supposed to have processes and principles that God does. Dogs do not. That's why they are very different. Cats do not. Grass does not. Giraffes do not. Color does not. Light does not. All these other things are not made in his image. We, human beings, are made in his image. You should know that idol worshiping positions you for provision. That's all it is. Okay. It positions you for provision. It takes you outside of grace and puts you into misery. Okay. This is when you get emotional. Okay. And don't think that emotions are good. Even the ones that feel good aren't good. Emotions are not good. Why aren't emotions good? Somebody tell me. Thank you for asking me this. Emotions are not good because it is like you detecting the darkness. Dark is not real. Darkness has no single cell organism that we can study. Darkness has no physical matter to it. Neither does happiness. Neither does sadness, depression, expectation, satisfaction, any of that, okay? Rage, none of that has any physical existence. People will say, oh, well, we have brain function. We can, no. That's electricity, okay? The organ, the brain uses electricity to function, to think, but emotions are not real. Emotions itself are not real. They don't exist. There's no evidence they exist, okay? Just like we can detect the dark, darkness is just a void of light, okay? We can detect the absence or the illusion of the absence of God is called emotions, okay? When we think that God is not here, oh my God, my life sucks so bad, then we experience, okay? Only then we experience emotions. It sucks, okay? Happiness, the word happy, it means luck. People always question me about that. Happiness it means luck. And lucky, you only win rarely on an extreme rare occasion. You go into the casino, you lose more than you win. You might win big or you might win small, but when you win, you've already put the money in way more times than that one time that it comes out. Okay. People feel happiness because you think God forgot about you. The emotion happiness is only here because your brain thinks God forgot about you. So that's the only reason why luck is here. You're not lucky in the land of abundance. You are in infinity. You are like God. We are made in his image. Like, you are in abundance. In the Garden of Eden, you have the ability to plant seeds. Okay. You have the ability to harvest. You have the ability to eat the fruit. And you still think you are not abundant. Like, this is where happiness comes in. Emotions are not good. They never are. They're not supposed to be your leaders. You're not supposed to do what you feel. You're supposed to be diligent. You're supposed to be prudent. You're supposed to be wise. This is all in the Bible. Okay. Well, emotions and what I told you is not in the Bible, but prudent, diligent, discerning, wise, that's definitely in the Bible. Okay. Plan. Okay. You're supposed to plan your seasons. Okay. Like the ant. So, with that being said, idol worshiping can happen, or it positions you into the area called misery. Okay, and this misery, you can feel good or feel bad. All misery doesn't feel bad. Okay, for real, like, when you are gossiping about your neighbor for, I don't know, taking the trash out and it's spilling all over the floor. You're gossiping with your wife or your husband about it. Oh, look how silly they look. That feels good, but you physically, you spiritually are in the area called misery, because God doesn't understand that. God checked out. Like, God's not going to sit there and thrive with you about you gossiping about someone else. Now you are entertaining a demon, and a demon's going to try to keep this here. So there's an area called grace. Grace is God's unmerited love and favor. When you exit grace, you enter misery. When you exit misery, you enter grace. Nothing in between. There is nothing in between. Okay? So I want to tell you 3 ways how idol worshiping sneaks in. Okay? We kind of hinted at the first one, but money as security. Okay? When money becomes your savior, you are no longer depending on God. You start believing provision is only possible through your bank account, not the provider, God. Okay? This opens up door to greed and anxiety because money is unstable, while God never changes. Okay, number 2, comfort and escape. Many people idolize alcohol, food, and entertainment as their peace. You pray for Fridays, but hate Mondays. Okay. If you need alcohol to start your morning or Netflix to numb your mind, that's idol worshiping. Okay. You just repositioned yourself out of grace into misery, into a portion of misery in front of the demon called Belphegor. Okay. The need itself is proof that you've placed comfort above God's strength. Comfort idols may feel good in the moment, but they rob you of your growth and clarity and purpose. Number 3, relationships as identity. Okay. People often idolize their spouse, their children, or friends, making them the source of their worth or direction. Have you ever heard a parent say, "My child is my world. I'll die if they die"? You know, of course you will protect your children 100%. You will protect your child. If a bully is trying to kill your kid, you're going to give your life for your child, of course. Okay? But when you idolize your children, that's evil. Okay? They are not first. They are not your world. God is your world. Period. They come after your husband or after your wife. Okay? When you worship your child's success or cling to your partner for identity, you've misplaced your worship. Okay? This opens the door for manipulation, codependency, and misplaced expectations, and many other evil spirits like Jezebel and Delilah and Ahab. Okay? Only God defines identity and purpose. Okay? So to recap, the 3 ways that idol worshiping sneaks in is money and security, or money as security, comfort as escape, and relationships as identity. So what's the solution? The solution is reposition your worship. Okay, so idol worship is really when a position problem. Okay, it's idol worshiping is a position problem. Where you place your attention determines what spirit you're standing in front of. The Bible says, "You shall have no other gods before me." And that's in Exodus 20:3. Okay. Worship is not about status or statues or rituals. It's about what you give your time, trust, and attention to daily. Okay. Repositioning your worship back to God by thanking Him in every circumstance and making Him your true source of provision and comfort and identity. Okay. Your attention, I say it all the time. Your attention is the most valuable spiritual asset that you have, period. Period. This is why they say pay attention. Your attention has no monetary value in reality. But of course, views and stuff, that's different. Okay. You are literally getting YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, AdSense from sponsors by your views. The more views you get, the more people stay on the platform. Okay. But spiritually speaking, in reality, outside of YouTube or any social media platform or even on TV, if you say, hey, can I get a hamburger with 3 hours of attention, just me staring at you, you're not going to get that hamburger. Okay. Hey, can you pay my rent if I give you attention for the entire month? If I just stare at you for the entire month, your rent's not going to get paid. Okay. Will you give me $50 for me just staring at you outside of social media? If the answer is no, great. You're rational. Attention has no value in reality, but spirituality, attention is everything. It's what all spiritual warfare is about. It's literally what all of your spiritual warfare is about. If your attention was placed correctly, where would your business be now? Would you be at $50 million annually revenue? Would you have written your ebook by now? Would you have gone to the dentist? Okay. Would you have gone to and get your routine checkup from the doctor by now? If your attention was where it's at, would you have considered therapy? Would you have worked on your communication skills that your husband or your wife has been complaining about? Okay. Your attention shapes how your mind receives spirit's inspiration. Okay. Your attention shapes how your mind is able to receive inspiration, and inspiration is the substance that flows from the spirit you are standing in front of. So a demon can inspire you. That's called temptation. Or an angel or God can inspire you. Okay, that's called joy or hope. Okay, when you understand that your attention is what all spiritual warfare is about, then you can worship correctly. Okay, reposition your mind and you will worship correctly. Your life is where it's at is because your attention is not correct. Okay, and I mean that full scale. And if you want to learn how to master your attention, your mind, go into and get my Mastering Imagination mini course. Okay, enroll today. Yes, it's not free. Yes, you're required to invest into your for your growth. Okay, if it was free, you wouldn't enroll in it. Okay, if it was free, you would not enroll in it. And to be honest, if you've been here for some time and you have not enrolled in it, you for some reason don't think that it's valuable enough for you to invest in. Okay? Let me just leave you with that there. It's down in the show notes. If you're gifted and stuck, if you're gifted but not yet fruitful, okay? Start with the free lesson, the complimentary lesson that I have for you. It's down below. Okay? It'll take you to another YouTube video, and it will teach you why you are for real gifted and not fruitful yet. If you are successful, everybody thinks you're successful. You're a director. You started your business. Maybe you are a parent, and or father or a mother, and you don't feel as you're operating in your purpose, but everybody else is cheering for you. You're gifted and not fruitful. Go and go down there and look at the gifted and fruitful lesson. It says start here, so start there. Okay. Now, if you didn't know, now you know.